Wow, been a crazy 7 months. I wanted to go back in time and look at what we were saying in March about coronavirus, about multifamily, and about what we were going to do. Let's take a look. Utility. Parker, why don't you just give us your high-level opinion of coronavirus, how it's going to impact commercial real estate, and we'll dive into some specifics.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's two pieces to look at this that are important. I think there's kind of what is the short-term impact and what is the long-term impact. Yeah. So I think, short term, people are seeing that, real estate has been incredibly stable through this whole pandemic. Right? I mean, when your stock markets, drop to the floor and circuit breakers are being triggered, on the trading floor, your real estate portfolio isn't going down at all. And, even the REITs, their stock price is going down, but the value of the underlying assets is the same.
That's right.
So I think people are realizing that the ability to have cash flow in real estate as part of their portfolio helps to mitigate some of that risk. And so I think additionally, when you think about what are the short-term effects of coronavirus, well, immediately the debt is cheap right now. I mean, it's incredibly cheap. And I think that provides us in the real estate space a huge benefit because we are long-term investors, right? And so we're going to go in and secure cheap debt and buy properties that we're going to hold for 5, 7, 10 plus years. And, we're going to have great loan terms well past the time that the coronavirus is making.
That's right.
Short term, I think that there's going to be, some impact if there's some social distancing happening. I think that's going to potentially affect some retail sales. It might affect, some office tenants. They might start to think about their leases. But ultimately, long term, I mean, it's not going to impact it, right? I mean, people are going to do what they do. They're going to freak out over the next 30 to 60 days.
Well, got that wrong because they have been freaking out for a lot longer than 30 to 60 days. But
and then we're going to go back to business as usual.
Not quite yet, Parker. But, I understand where you're coming from.
What are humans? Our very nature is we are social animals.
That's right.
So the idea that we're going to have social distancing for any significant length of time, I think is absurd. We'll do what we need to do until medical intervention happens that helps to mitigate the effects of the coronavirus, and then we'll be back to business as usual.
Absolutely. So when we think about how this is going to impact, let's just say our current holdings that we've got, right? So we've gotten some investors giving us a call. We've got 3 or 4 active raises going on for real estate. Parker and I are very confident in the real estate that we have under contract that we're going to continue to execute on. But should people be worried about their multifamily or retail? We definitely executed. It was close to 560 units over the last 7 months. Properties that they might be holding right now. What do we think about from an occupancy standpoint, and if there's going to be any impact on that whatsoever?
So I think that if you're buying good real estate, occupied, cash flowing real estate in the commercial space specifically, I don't think you're going to see a substantial impact.
Right.
And I think the effect that's going to happen over 30 to 90 days is not going to make a super substantial.
Again, timelines, but who had a crystal ball?
Impact to the retailers that you might already have in place or the office businesses that you have in place in a commercial office property. So I just don't think it is. If I was delivering a brand new property right now, I would be concerned.
Sure. Absolutely.
Concerned that we're going to be able to get the leases, that people are going to open their stores on time, et cetera. But
for the next 50 years or however long we're alive, right now, the rates are lower, cap rates are not being compressed, and there's an opportunity to deploy capital into good long-term assets. All right, you can watch the full video on the YouTube channel, but what I wanted to show was everybody was waiting for COVID pricing. And the folks that took action the last 7 months actually saw COVID pricing if they bought right. Now, since we have 7 months of collections data, multifamily has held up well, self-storage, industrial, the prices are not coming down unless there's some serious distress, which very well might come. But again, are you going to wait for another 7 months to take action? Simply wanted to say that the folks that are taking strategic action right now, buying fundamentally strong commercial real estate assets, are the ones coming out ahead. Anyways, reach out to me if you're interested, and always live free.